to a review of the Figma from Max Factory Good Smile Company, Figma 320 Legend of Zelda DX Deluxe Link from Twilight Princess. It's interesting that they're going backwards because the previous one that they released, which is Figma 153, is from Skyward Sword, and I will be comparing both of them. This is the deluxe version, so it has a lot more accessories than the regular edition, and it costs a bit more. So thank God I pre-ordered this, because the original Figma link was something that was reissued I think 3 times because of how popular it was, which is probably why we have this now, and also the chibi sort of Wind Waker from Nindoroid, Wind Waker Link and Zelda from that series, because of how popular that first Figma figure was. Previously, Figma has also released Samus from Other M in the suit, and also the Zero suit, so just a blue suit and her face. But they've announced and they're going to be releasing a Metroid Prime Samus, which the suit is still a little bit different. Same here, this Link feels like the toy is only a little bit different than the previous version. So a very big box because there's a lot more stuff in here. A lot of accessories here showcasing Zelda there and different faces and accessories. And you got different poses, and the bottom shows you he's got one of these mask things that he can wear. What's not cool is that first comparison go here is that the backing card is just a plain color, whereas the original one had like the Zelda logo and all that on the back. There's still weird cutout base thing from the backing cardboard that you can do, but I don't know why you'd want to do that, because why would you want a cardboard stand that's a tiny little paper craft that's easy to break? That doesn't really do anything. I mean, it does, the little cardboard back does say, Twilight Princess version, if you can see it. I'll add a photo here later. So inside here, the version of Link is in the standard size box, the same as the other box size you just saw. So interesting here is that this tray is not the bonus items, because the entire tray for holding it together is completely different compared to the regular version. So you got this tray here, so you got a lot of accessories here, and they're all very securely placed into these plastic trays. Originally there was sellotape holding the bottom tray to the top one, so nothing really fell out too much. The hands are a little plastic baggie with a little bit of adhesive on it, and interesting enough, they actually give you a spare arm joint in case something breaks. Well, kudos to them. Spare joints. That's great, because these things keep breaking, Figma. But is that a bad sign that they know their stuff is easily breakable? Okay, so opening the top tray again, nothing falls out too easily, so that's great. As always with Figma stuff, you always get a little baggie. Standard Ziploc bag to hold all of your accessories if you want to throw away the box and the plastic trays to save on some space. You get 2 Figma stages there with 2 Figma arms, and each Figma arm you have a extra attachment here for a slightly different angle, I guess you can call it. I'm not really sure what it's for. Look at it. It's also like a little gun, like a little hand cannon. So both of the arms have that. Also, one of them comes with one of these to hold up I guess it's a Morning Star, a weird ball thing that you can chuck around. Of course, you have the instructions, 2 sheets of instructions here in this case. Now, of course, I'm going to be fair and compare the normal edition of the Twilight Princess Link with the original one, because after all, the special DX edition comes with a lot more stuff. So, both versions come with the plastic baggie, instructions, and a stage. However, this one has a stage with 2 alternate arms on the end. One is more of a 45 degree one, 90 degree one, and whereas one is more 45 degree one. So you got 2 different angles. Both of them have fists and figure, of course. This one has one alternate shouting face with hair that's slightly different than the other one, but I fail to see the point because it's so similar to each other. Both of them have the Hyrulean shield, and on the back of both shields there's enough pegs and holes to alternate between left and right hand, carrying on the back as well as holding it. So both of them have that. Both of them have the Hyrule sword, the Master Sword, I almost forgot it and of course the holder for the Master Sword that plugs into the back of the figure, so you can do that. One facial expression, two facial expression. This one has an annoyed face, like a teeth, biting teeth face as an extra, so that's one thing that the old one doesn't have. However, the old one has a special effects that goes on the Master Sword. I'm definitely gonna try see if it matches the new one. It looks like the exact same molded piece. We'll look closer in a moment. This one also has the spare hand joint if you break one of them. And let's see, so both of them have fist hands already on them. The old one seems to have more hands. So this one has spray open hands, so there's this one. This one has sword holding hands, so there's this one. But this one also has sword holding hands that's on an angle, so you got up and angle. But that's because the old one, the joints are very different. You see, the old one, the hands have a little swivel peg. That means there's no ball joint on the end of the hand, so it's not as easy to move. Whereas this one, the new one, has a joint that's a bit similar to SH Figuarts, where there's more rotation going on there, so it's a bit more movement. Just a slight bit more. This one also has the bow and arrow holding hands, whereas this one instead has relaxed hands. So this one doesn't have relaxed hands, which is stupid. That's lame. To the full comparison, here's a quick look at instructions. They have one side English and one side Japanese. As always, if you want to take a closer look at the instructions, photoshoot the figure as well as box art, please feel free to head over to the Flickr link in the video description below. And so yeah, they're definitely going for an international market here with the dual language thing going on. Both these are very similar. The molding on them are entirely different. The Triforce looks a bit different. The paint job's a little bit different. Even though it's the same basic shape, it's very different indeed. The thickness and the length are also slightly different. The old sword is slightly longer, but the new one is slightly thicker, which is good, means it's more durable. The old one feels so scary to handle sometimes because it's very easy to snap. And it's made out of that plastic where it's the thinnest edges, thinnest bits are not soft enough to bend entirely, but they're also not hard enough to snap. So you can really do some nasty damage to them if you're not careful. So the old one, the way to do it is you take up the top like a bottle and then you slide into the hand. Whereas the new one, you can take the whole handle off and that slides into the hand. And yeah, because the old one had the sword effect, so you can just slide the sword effect into the sword effect and it fits fine. But since the new one is slightly thicker, while the tip starts to go in, it's a bit of a push, and when it gets down here, it gets stuck. It can't go all the way. But you can still sort of do the effect you want to, but I'm not going to pull the sword out that way because that'll probably snap it, so I'm going to push it out. Yeah, I'm not doing that again. That's too scary. And because of the thickness and length, they're not really going to fit into each other's sword holder. So, I'm going to compare that next. So, yeah, the old one has a bit... Ooh, is that stuck? Uh-oh. Oh, that's scary. Is it stuck? Yeah, it's kind of stuck sometimes. So, the old one has a bit of a click going on once it goes in there. So, again, new one on the left. Twilight Princess on the left and Skyward Sword on the right. The new one, there's nothing stopping it from falling out. If I tip it upside down, it'll start to slide and eventually fall out. So that's not good. I mean, I'm not scared about breaking or anything, but at least the old one had a little bit of a click, which is useful. So I would like it if the new one had a bit of a click. And these little bits are sharp and kind of hurt. Does this have that? Yeah, that has that too. So both of them have sharp pointy tips. So keep them away from children. And yeah, very similar in design, but that's because they're very similar in design in the game itself. And yeah, the old one has a bit of a brighter gold, whereas the new one's a bit of a darker gold going on. And, now the old one has actually a bit of paint on the tip that plugs into the back of the body, and you see that paint's wear off a little bit. Whereas the new one, it's just a molded blue of the plastic, so that won't rub any paint off. So that's a bit better. The shields are very different, Hyrulean shields, very different yet very same at the same time. There's a lot of smaller details on this, so that's pretty cool. Skyward Sword's a more cartoony look, whereas Twilight Princess was definitely going for a more realistic look, so hence it makes sense that everything's a bit darker and more details going on, whereas this one's more exaggerated. turn them around, and they both feature the same type of setup where you have the two straps that you can unplug and plug them in sideways if you want to, or you have the handlebar that unplugs on each side. And the way it works is the handlebar unplugs and one of the tips unplugs from the rest of the bar, so you can slide the hand in and then plug everything back in. So both these shields have that, and pretty much just comes down to what style you like more. So both of them are good. We compared both figures right here, and of course one's a bit chubbier, they're both about the same height, and one's just more realistic in proportions and one's a bit more cartoony. Twilight Princess Link has a smaller head, whereas the Skyward Sword one has a bigger head, just bulkier body overall. But in terms of joints, now I can't compare in terms of the longevity of Figma, but the old Link, this Link here, his leg joints especially are starting to become a little bit loose, but that's probably because I've had him for a while and displayed in different poses, whereas the new one was brand new. You see the old one, I've also stretched the loin cloth a little bit by stretching his legs open a little bit. And the bottom here, the way to get around this is you use softish materials. When you stretch your legs out, they add a little bit of an extra flap that goes and hides behind the back flap when you push your legs apart. So that's how they get around with how the fabrics work as a figure. I have to be really careful with him because his legs are a little bit slidey around. There we go. Whereas the new one, they also do that, but they've given you a lot more fabric. You can see I stretch his legs all the way apart, and the fabric is still hiding behind the rest of the body, so there's a lot more give. The new one also has an interesting gimmick that you can actually move his arms awkwardly forward because of how the joint is longer than the old one, and they've also added and painted details underneath there, so you can fold his arms and pose him a lot better, whereas the old one doesn't. And there's a rotating joint here, and there's just more joints overall, and of course the hands follow figure arts a bit more compared to the old one. And see, so the old one has articulation on the back of the hat. You got the two holes there, one for plugging in the sword holder, one for plugging the figure in, which is oddly enough on a pouch, so you plug his pouch into the stand, whereas the other one has a smaller hood, and the hood just has a slight rotation going on, so it doesn't really hinder articulation too much because the neck can't even go back that far. And on the back here he's also got pouches but on the other side, and he actually plugs in the torso instead of a pouch. But you can see that both figures, this one especially has the Figma problem where the joint looks ridiculously big, but this one's hidden pretty well because of his bulkier pants. This one looks just a bit silly. The old figure, the arm rotating joint is simply down to this arm joint here using pegs, so you can rotate that, whereas this one, the entire lower part of the upper arm does rotate with the joint, so it makes it seem a little bit more natural. So there's definitely been improvements with the way Figma does their figures, and I'm glad that that's there, but it doesn't mean that the old figure is bad at all. In fact, if you have one of the reissues of the figure, then the joint's probably not as loose. And like I said, since we've reissued about 3 times, it's probably quite easy these days now to get yourself a hold of this Link. And now that since there are multiple versions of Link, the supply and demand should be lower, because not everyone wants all the Links they can get, including myself. I'm not going to keep this one. I'm going to stick this on eBay, so there's going to be more of these available. So before we go on to the full-on review of just this guy, I will say that the other one is still good. It's just I prefer this one, a slightly more realistic look of Link. But if you like the cartoony one and probably something that's slightly cheaper, you can definitely go with this one. It is not a bad figure at all. It's just simply down to preferences. And yeah. Stuff you get with the Deluxe edition, you have this extra sword here, which also has the we have the tip that you can pull off, so you can slide it into the hand. Standard sword, again, do be careful with the plastic, quite pointy at the end, and has its own sword holder for before you get the Master Sword, and this one's also done pretty well. And the peg itself is part molded plastic color, so it's not going to fade or anything. You have a arrow for your bow, painted quite nice, and yeah, that feels scarily fragile. You got the bow, which looks really, really good, and the way to do this is, well, you can unplug that and slide the hand onto it. Looks really good. No string on it, of course. No strings on me. But, you know, it looks good enough for this scale. You have this giant throwing ball thing here, which looks pretty deadly. The chain is made of actual metal, so that's very secure. And you have a little, well, the handle on the back for Link to hold on to. This thing is heavy. I'm not even just talking about the chain. If you just hold the ball bit, I think it's solid. Like, it's not hollow at all. So you can definitely knock someone out of it. There's a little hole there for the stand, for the second stand to hold it up. So you do more displays and stuff. You have this extra face mask here, and it's made of very soft material, so the hair doesn't feel like it's going to break anything. So that's good. So this will last a while, this mask here. And you have the hook shot. You got the handlebar there, which you can slide the hand onto. Does it look like, can you detach the handlebar? No, that's solid in there, so don't pull it. And this hook shot that you can replace with another piece. When I first pulled this out, this peg was stuck in here, but this peg can come out as well. It's supposed to come out from both ends, so you can detach that, and you have the other hook right here that's in the opened position. So you can plug that. Can I plug this directly onto it? Yes, I can. So you have it open. Unplug that. Or attach another chain onto this body and attach it to one of these pieces. So this can also come out as well. Oh no, this comes out. Oops, that's not supposed to come out. Well, that comes out, and so you can plug the hand on it a bit easier, I guess. But yeah, this little tab in there is very hard to pull out, but the paint job on these pieces are all very, very nice indeed. So articulation, so you got the hat articulation there, so that's good. That rotates and stuff. I think it's on the 4 joint. Head looks down, rotates and stuff. It's a swiveling joint down there. Do wish it was a ball joint. Do wish they would go with what Bandai does. There's a weird joint here. It's a collar joint, I guess. Just rotates back. Does it go sideways? No. But it goes forward a little bit and back a little bit. That's hidden very well. So the hands rotate here, swiveling joints, and oh, this strap is soft material as well, separate from the body. That's interesting. A lot of little bits that move. That's pretty cool. You can see better joint. There's actually a ball joint in there. You can see that. Single elbow joint. No double joints for Figma yet, but you got a lot of rotation on the upper joint there. Does it rotate the bottom? No. Yeah, the sleeve is supposed to rotate with the arm joint, but it doesn't quite successfully do that sometimes. And hand is on a peg and swiveling joint, so that's good. Body is on, well, you can see it, look, it's on a little peg and swiveling joint as well. Does this come off as well? No, that stays on. Yeah, this thing falls apart pretty easily, and it's kind of annoying. Just a little peg holder. Plug that back in. Come on. Well, at least it doesn't break. That's a good thing, I guess. These pouches also have their own joints, down little swiveling joints as well. I think they're ball pegs. Yep, down little ball pegs. So you can actually remove this pouch if you want to. This one stays on pretty well. Legs go forwards and backwards. Oh, that's annoying. Because you can't go forwards and backwards too much, or else you push your torso off. Stay in there. Can I glue you down or something? At least have a... You know, if you're going to do pegs, Figma, if you're going to do those, can you have little bumps on your pegs so nothing falls off too easily? So legs goes sideways and... So while you're supposed to be able to do dramatic poses with Link's leg, he falls off quite easily. So forwards, backwards, sideways, and you got a single knee joint there. It looks ridiculous depending on the angle. And a peg and swivel for the foot, as well as a toe joint that goes up and doesn't go down, just up. So he does have fair enough amount of articulation, but quite a little annoying bits as well. Princess Figma is a very good looking figure, and the articulation overall is very much improved over previous Figma figures. However, it is a very fidgety figure. You saw me doing the articulation of the legs, and it's very easy to push his sort of cloth piece upwards and then pushing the rest of his torso off so he gets like chopped in half. Another fidgety part is attaching the Hyrulean shield to the sword holder. When you plug the sword holder to the back of the body, there's a chance that you can push the whole thing off and it falls off. So that's really annoying as well. And you also can't really do the, I guess you can do the left-handed thing. Yeah, the sword's in that direction. But if you want to swap him around, like on the Wii version, when you have him as the right-handed Link, that doesn't really work because the pouches do get in the way. Now, you can remove the pouch from the back of his body, but you have a little ball thing just sticking out with nowhere to put the pouch. So that's something you can do. It's, like you said, it's just very fidgety. The joints, apart from the hip joint, the rest of the joints do feel much more secure compared to older Figma figures, especially when they first come out of the box. I've noticed that with, you know, for example, some of the Marvel Figmas as well. So that's definitely improvement. Of course, articulation on the hood is also improvement as well. And I prefer the slightly more realistic look of Link, but he's still very colorful. It's still definitely green. This isn't like, say, Batman versus Superman. Everything's just dark and grey and Superman's blue is pretty much gone. No, this Link has still got the blues, the golds, and the reds and the greens. It's just everything is slightly shade darker, and the amount of there's more detail and molding and the etches here and there and the lines of the figure. So I definitely appreciate this one more than the other more cartoony one. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate cartoony stuff as well. I love stuff like Kirby, for example, and Kirby needs to be more cartoony. I do not want a more realistic dark or gritty Kirby. That'd be weird. But yeah, so if you like this Link, definitely pick up the DX version. If you are a Nintendo fan and not a Zelda fan, then you can skip the DX equipment. But if you are a Zelda fan, then you definitely want to pick up the extra stuff, because you just get some of his iconic weapons that you don't get in any other figure packs. At least, for example, the hook shot. That's a very big thing in Zelda World that you're supposed to have. So that's definitely worth getting, just for costing a little bit more. Subscribe, suggest, and comment below, and of course, take care and have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now. If you're watching this video, you probably like The Legend of Zelda and other things Nintendo or video game based. I have reviewed a bunch of other Nintendo related stuff, including Nendoroid, Kirby, SH Figuarts, Pikachu, and a few other Nintendo related products, so you definitely check those out on this channel as well. Please consider supporting this channel by heading over to Patreon, because toys cost a lot, and if you think this video is very useful for you to decide if you want to pick up this figure or not, definitely check out the Patreon page and give me a little bit of support there. I also sometimes use these figures for animation on the Digger318 page, so you can check that out as well, and any Patreon will go towards supporting animations as well. Or if you don't want to do any Patreon stuff, you can also support this channel just by clicking the like button, subscribe button, or sharing this video with other people or other Nintendo related websites, so more people can see this video and decide whether or not they want to pick up one of these Nintendo figures. You can also turn off ad block, and that would be very useful for me. Or if you use YouTube Red, then you don't need ad block. But any support is appreciated. Thank you for watching the video. Take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.